Let's go to Paul Daley right now and talk to him about the whole situation. What's up, Paul? How are you?
I'm good, mate. I was interested in hearing the story about your soccer playing son. It sounded like it was pretty interesting.
You hear this? This kid from the back, Paul, kept slide tackling from the back. So my son is on a breakaway and he's taking out his legs. So finally I say,
that's
not cool, right?
Yeah, that's not cool. That's red card offense at least, bro.
And the thing is, I speak up and everyone comes after me like I'm the bad dad speaking up. I'm like, yo, man, I just want a clean game here.
There we go. That's all we want. Fair play.
So you would have had my back?
I got your back. I always got your back, bro.
I know. And I know it, especially after this weekend. I appreciate you, my man. Thank you, Paul. Congratulations.
No problem.
Holy crap, man.
Thank you.
Can I tell you something, Paul? I'm watching this fight on Friday. I was actually at soccer practice. I had to watch Friday afternoon here in America, but I, stopped everything I'm doing. I'm watching. And I was getting depressed watching it. I was like, it can't end like this. It cannot end like this. In London, it cannot end. And then all of a sudden, I started to get emotional. Liver. What are you thinking as the clock is ticking and you're like, there's essentially a round and change left and it's going to end like this with someone holding me down?
No, it was never going to end like that. We prepared for every eventuality. And I was pretty relaxed. I was biding my time. I said post-fight, I could hear the crowd in their moments of silence. I knew there was genuine concern amongst the audience, but I'm like, guys, just be patient. I could hear he was getting tired. He was fatiguing. And I knew I only needed one shot. I knew it. He was pretty slow. And like I say, he gave his best in the first round. And, it was fortunate that I flew the flying knee and closed the distance and was able to get in on me again in the second. But I knew all I needed was a moment, a little bit of space, and that it would have been game over.
So you were never losing hope? You were never losing confidence? You were never starting to think like, man, time is running out? No.
No, bro, no. I was calm.
Wow.
I was calm. Probably the most, not even worrying because I knew what I was doing in this position, but I just didn't expect him to go for the heel hook.
Yeah.
But I was calm in defending that. I wasn't worried about this guy, fair play to him. I spoke to him afterwards and I said, look, you did what you had to do. We knew what you was going to do, but you wasn't coming out there, without getting knocked out. I apologized. It was always going to happen. Yeah, it was a shame because he was a big fan of mine.
Oh, was he?
And yeah. He said, I used to watch you when I was a kid. I was playing soccer and you inspired me to play MMA. So it was to change to MMA. It was a massive honor for me to fight you. And it ended bad, face down, ass up. It couldn't have ended any worse for him. So, yeah.
And by the way, I appreciate, I hope your fans in England don't give you crap for calling it soccer, but I appreciate you making that transition for me here because, of course, football over there.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Very nice of you.
No problem.
When you got that separation at the end of the second round and then you started blasting him, you hit him with the liver shot, which was beautiful. You get the guard down and then you freaking came up top. Did you know, okay, this is it? This is the opening that I needed?
Definitely. And it was definitely the body shot that brought about the finish because it slowed him down completely. It happened when you watch it back, it's fast. But I hit him with a body shot. He throws like a really slow counter left hook that catches me. But I thought he would have got the reason why he even catches me with that left hook because I thought he was going down with the body shot. So I've looked at him and then I get caught and then I see that it was like a delayed reaction because after he threw the left hook counter, which catches me, he's like there for like a half a second, just looking at me. And I thought, it was time to take him out of there. And once that shot landed, and you can see it's complete confidence. I'm left or right hand. My left hand took all the light most of my career, but my right hand is had a few heads as well.
Yeah. So, I guess that would be the only thing that didn't make it like vintage Paul, that it wasn't the left, but it was still incredible. The knockout was amazing. Could you even...
No, the left is broke. The left is actually broke now. So, yeah, it's messed up. Roots, tell them guys I'm doing an interview to go out the back door. You guys are just sat there. You can see what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm actually back working now. I'm in the gym. So
what are you doing?
I just finished the class and people are... I'm back in the dojo. I'm back in my gym, so people are trying to get out, and I've got a little buzzer here that lets people in and out. So
no worries.
But yeah, so cool.
No, so wow. So the hand is broken, huh? When did you break it?
Well, I said broken, but I meant dislocated. So what's happened is, as it's backed up against the cage, and I sprawl and I throw like a flurry of shots. As it's covering up, I've hit him, caught him with the outside of my thumb on his elbow. And they say it's not unusual. It was dislocated at the lower joint, so that the bone tucked under into my soft tissue and did damage some ligaments. So it's in cast now. It's going to come out and it's going to get like a wire wrapped around some ligaments to get stitched up. So yeah, if I pick something up the wrong way, or just like now, and then probably dislocate it, I do that and it goes back in.
Oh my gosh!
But it's not painful.
And when did this happen in the fight?
Just before the finish.
Oh, really?
I've gone out. Yeah, blasted him. It's no reason why I finished him with the right. I just finished him with the right because that's what was there. But yeah, I felt it go and I just kept punching until something put me away.
Wow, and that didn't give you, any sort of pause. That didn't lower your confidence, even though you knew that something was wrong.
No, man. I was not. Look, there was nothing that was going to stop me from knocking this guy out. I was not going out in Wembley Arena for my last fight without knocking this guy out. He was not getting out of there. And everybody's, we was worried about, he was like, I wasn't worried about me. This guy wasn't coming out of there alive. Like, I wasn't worried, not one point. I had complete confidence that I was going to put this guy to sleep.
All right. So all week long, because there was so much attention on this being your last fight, did you feel any more? I mean, you've done this so many times, but a little more pressure, a little more nerves. There was a lot of attention on you. You want to go out with that storybook, and you didn't allow that to seep in.
No, it was just like another fight week. It's
really?
Probably one of the best fight weeks that we had. It was enjoyable. I tried to get as many of the coaches there that have helped me with my career. So there's a few bodies there, and we just enjoyed it. I think, and part of me thinks it's because I know that it's my last fight.
Mm-hmm. And
people think that would have the opposite kind of, I should be acting differently, but I'm happy, I'm content, so I was just enjoying it, knowing that this was it. I've had a hell of a long time in the sport, been through ups and downs and had to, it's been draining on me, not just physically, but emotionally. I've had to keep pushing, keep going and doing all kinds of shit just to keep relevant and stuff like that. So I'm just happy that I did it. I made it. And my sister says I made it out unscathed, Bar the Nick Diaz fight, and Douglas Lima, I got dropped a couple of times, but you've never seen me come out blooded, face torn up, on a stretcher, nothing. I've always made it out on my own 2 feet and looking as sexy as I am now.
Yes, no, it's 100% true. And yet, people always talk about the Diaz fight. Do you hold it in the same regard as everyone else, or because we were just talking earlier,
man.
You don't like it?
I don't like it. I lost the fight, and I know I can fight better than that. And the game plan went out the window. We was prepared for Nick, but he does get a hold of you, man, when he starts talking shit especially with me. I'm a reactive person, and the guy's talking whatever he's talking in the cage and just makes you want to swing. Forget the leg kicks and start swinging. The kicking was the plan, but went as it went.
Is that the one that you wish you could get back if you could pick one?
No, I don't wish I could get back any fight in terms of change what's already happened. But I think if I was to pick a fight to have a rematch, it would definitely be Nick Diaz or Masvidal, because they're the ones that have turned into pay-per-view stars.
Right.
I can get the most money from. So, Nick Diaz was a great fight, and I beat Masvidal, and he holds the BMF belt, I think, even though he's lost his last fight. So those are the ones that if someone came to me and says, right, what's going to get you out of retirement? Those 2 fights. And that is it. Those are the only 2 fights that pull me out, because I know they're going to make me a ton of money.
So here's the thing. I believe you 100% when you say this, that you're done, that that was your last fight, all that stuff. But you go out on top like that. It's so great. You're looking great. Really, has anything that happened since Friday changed your mind? Is the door now open again? Have you rethought this? How do you feel? No.
No, I'm done. I'm finished. I feel I would not want to ruin that ending. That was such a perfect ending. I mean, it was not for anybody, but just for me. That was like vintage Semtex. That's why I'm so popular, and that's what people came to see. They came to see me do that, and that's why for 20 years people have always turned out for me, and that's why I feel, or was before retirement, was still a relevant name. I've only was in the big show for 3 fights, but I've managed to keep myself relevant over the past 20 years, fighting on little bit shows and upstart promotions, and still be here and still relevant. And I think that's special. And that fight, that finish is why.
I remember when we spoke a few months ago when you first made the announcement that this was going to be the final fight, you kind of, you stressed the word MMA, right? You stressed MMA, and which made me think, okay, maybe there's going to be other stuff, boxing, this and that, and you didn't really want to go into that. Can you elaborate?
I can, because at that time I was offered, I knew something was coming up. I was offered a boxing fight, but then the opponent was Dan Hardy, and I didn't know that at the time.
Oh my gosh.
Obviously, Dan being a former teammate, and even though I've said this already, even though we're not close and we don't speak a lot like we used to, I'm a simple guy, and I think I like to keep things honest. And we came into the sport as babies, and we sort of grew to a certain stage together. And I think it just wouldn't be right, although we didn't remain close for long, the time that we did spend together is kind of a key point in our development as mixed martial artists. And I wouldn't want to go back on that. So I once I found out it was Dan, I turned the fight down.
Wow.
And that was that.
And that's for the July 2nd card, the one that's headlined by Hatton and Marco Antonio Barra?
No, this was for a different
wow.
show. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the promotion.
Okay.
But it was going to be here in England at the O2. I think the show's still coming here.
Okay.
So when they announce the show,
Now, do you not go back to them and say, hey, can you just give me someone else? Like, why don't we figure this out?
I have asked for someone else, but then since the injury to my hand, I'm thinking that it's probably a sign of to just stop. And even thinking about it and saying what I just said about the ending at Wembley, I just feel like I shouldn't do it. But the money is crazy. So,
is it crazy?
It's more than I've been paid.
Wow.
In any MMA fight. So it's definitely worth it. But it depends on the opponent, and I just don't want to ruin the fairy tale ending. So it's not always about the money. I'm okay.
Does that kind of blow your mind that someone would offer you more? Like, you're an MMA fighter, you've been doing MMA for almost 20 years now, and all of a sudden it's like some boxing show and they're going to pay you more than you've made in your entire, like, that's kind of crazy, right? Yeah,
I think it's either we're, as MMA fighters, 90% of us are getting hustled, or the promoters that are offering this money just, they have a good cash flow.
Right.
I don't know what it is. But it seems ridiculous that I'm being offered to a lot more to compete in a sport that I haven't, made my name in.
And forgive me for not knowing off the top of my head. Did you ever have any pro boxing bouts? I don't think so, right?
No pro boxing bouts. Kickboxing, yes. Yeah. Sparred a bunch of pro boxers, but never had a pro boxing bout.
Were you ever tempted to go over because of the power that you possessed?
No, because it's such a different game. That's why when I see the MMA fighters going across fighting Jake Paul and thinking that their MMA's boxing sparring is the same as boxing, I'm like, it's not. It's so different. And maybe they're just in denial. I'm quite honest when I say that when I've gone in there with boxers, it's I've done okay, but I wouldn't want to fight them in a pro boxing match. It's so different. Punch output, position, angles, the rounds. It's very different.
So now, in a sort of developing story or in an update since we last spoke, now you're saying definitively there's no more competition, regardless of combat. Like now you're really actually done.
Yeah, I'm done. But I did say those 2 fights, Diaz Masvidal.
Okay, if those materialize,
if those ever materialize, I'd 100% be down. But those are the only fights, really the only fights. Yeah, yeah.
And it's not because you have like some sort of personal issue with them. It's just because they become huge stars since.
Yeah, they've become huge stars since, and you know, I feel like they would accept the fight because we've sort of come from the era of those type of fighters, and that they kind of see like, yeah, man, Paul was around when we were around. He's a real fighter, you know. He's a real dog. He hasn't got the shine. Let me give him a little shine, you know.
Yeah.
I feel that they're that type of character. Real recognize real is what we say, but I don't know if they're tied into any promotions, and that would happen. But you know, if the opportunity comes up, I'd take those fights.
Did you see Nick when he returned in September? And if so, what did you think of him?
I did see it. I thought he looked to you know, he didn't look great, but I don't know how serious he really took it.
Right.
I don't know if he just took it for the check, but you could see he was still there somewhere. But I just don't think he prepared well enough for the fight.
Was there always in your mind this idea like you don't want to be one of those guys who sticks around too long? Was this something? Is that why you're sticking?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. I don't want to become like a gatekeeper. I've seen too many fighters hang around and get beat up and knocked out, and I'm like, why? Like, you know, I said about us not getting paid much, but we get paid more than nurses and doctors and I've even builders. I know builders that have retired early. You know, we get paid well if you're smart. It's only greed that can keep you hanging around for longer. It's only greed, because I feel like if you've done the right things with the money that you've been given, you shouldn't feel the need to hang around. And then someone said to me, oh, it's because of competition that they don't have nothing to do. I'm like, well, find yourself something to do, you know, Occupy yourself in another positive way. But what I've come to realize in this sport, as I've grown as a fighter, is that my mental state coming into this sport is just different than a lot of people. And I kind of feel hard done by, because that is part of me that people don't know about, because I've always been portrayed as Semtex, the knockout artist, the brutal killer. You know, I've had trouble in bar fights and this and that. But I'm very different, and I'm very different from public perception. And I just think that's a shame as well, that people did not come to understand that more.
So how are you different? Like, who is the real Paul Daley?
I'm a deep thinker, and I'm just different, bro. This is one thing. When I was 17 and I was in college, I was studying a course of public services, and my lecturer said to me, he didn't understand why I was studying public services and thought I would better be suited to go into politics. Huh. That is how I'm different. And he was a former politician himself. So, and you know, it's just, I don't know, people haven't picked up on it, but he said I had a natural ability to put dots together and read between the lines. And maybe that's why I've stuck around for as long as I have, because I always speak the truth, and these promotions, they can't really fuck with me because I'm one step ahead, you know. I'm one step ahead of them.
So you're still a very young man. You're 39, yes, right? Sir. So is there a chance you go into politics now?
I would like to do public speaking. I've said that, you know, go around to schools and speak to people, or even go around to martial arts gyms, because that's probably a bit more suited. But it depends. I'm not looking to do anything but kick back on the beach and sip my ties and, you know, let this passive income keep my life nice. But we'll see what happens. But I can get, I see because I've done talking in schools and stuff, I get a good connection with the kids, you know. They seem very engaged when I'm talking, and I have that relationship with them. And I'm always asked to come back in and do more stuff like that.
You want to be a coach though, right? You'll still be at the gym.
I coach already.
Yeah.
I'm in the gym now. I've just finished my kids class, and then I've just done the adults kickboxing class. So I've always been doing this. I've done this since the UFC. I've always had a gym, teaching, and done things side by side. So I have experience in coaching and stuff like that. But even that, I'm looking to step away from. I think that, you know, I'm better focusing my energy elsewhere.
And just a couple more things, and then I'll let you go. I promise. I saw
yes, sir.
Your mom was there. How many times has she been to your fights? That was amazing.
Say it again.
How many times has she been there?
She's been. When they're in London, she's there. Okay. And some of the smaller shows, she'll be there. But you know, I thought she deserved to get some of the limelight.
Oh, beautiful.
And you know, although she doubted me when I started out in the sport, and again, saying in an interview, she said, you know, I said, Mom, I want to be a professional ninja. She said, you never will be. She's seen me grow in this sport, and she's always offered advice, and she's a hell of a mom. Three kids at 20 years old, moving from a big city in London to a small place like Nottingham. You know, her and my dad's splitting up, raising three kids by herself. You know, she's been through it all, and she's managed to produce three brilliant, you know, offspring. So she deserves to get a limelight. She made the full use of it.
Yeah,
because
great.
I keep getting messages, and whether they've been like from family members saying, please tell Auntie never to jump up and down in a cage ever again, or from other fighters saying, oh, your mum's so cute, she brought tears to my eye. You know, it was good for her, and she's getting that feedback in the local community as well, that she deserved to get a little shine.
Yeah. And by the way, did you remind her of what she said on Friday all those years ago about you not being a professional on your way out?
I always remind her. But she's proud. She's proud that I've managed to stick at the sport and, you know, keep going and make of it what I have. So she's proud.
And last thing, you know, we were talking right before you came on. I was trying to go through like who are the true pioneers of UK MMA, and honestly, you're in the conversation for just pioneer period. But you know, obviously, you've always represented UK and the scene over there. And I mean, like to me, I think you make the case. I mean, Bisping won the UFC title. Obviously, he deserves that shine. And then it's you and Dan, right? Ian Freeman's in the mix as well. But I think you can make a very strong case for you number two. What do you think?
You know, I'm just me. I don't care about labels, and the guys that you've named already will even tell you I was there before them. So
yes.
For me, my pioneers in UK MMA are guys like Lee Remedios, Ian Freeman for sure, and Mark Weir. Those are the three that I'd put up there, and then came me, then Dan, then Michael Bisping, who all three of us happened to train together in Nottingham for a short period of time. But, you know, the three pioneers for me are Ian Freeman, Lee Remedios, and Mark Weir. And then if I was to take any place, it would come after that.
You're a very humble man. Shout out to Lee Murray as well, wherever he may be.
And Lee Murray.
You hear from him? You ever hear from him?
Not really, but we have some friends that are mutual, so I know he's doing okay, and these things are cool.
Paul, honestly, it made me very emotional. It's always been a pleasure to cover you. You're such a legend, and you're such a great guy, and you are somewhat misunderstood. And so I just want to thank you for all the memories, all the interviews, all the time. This is not goodbye forever, but truly. You're one of my favorites, dating back to those Elite XC days back in the day. You always had time for me. So bro. Much love to you, my friend, and congrats on the big win and the great career.
No, like I said last time, thank you. You don't have to have me on the show. I appreciate when you get me on here. It's great to see what you've done from where you've come, where you started out, should I say. And you deserve everything. And I really do thank you for not forgetting me, bro.
Yeah, you're the man. Never. Thank you, Paul. All the best to you. Take care.